Maimonides, in his Guide for the Perplexed, he talks about something that's really important, and he mentions about that da'at, or like also hokmah, though, wisdom, right, is the key to actually repairing the world and so on and so forth. And in addition to that, there's something where that all of human suffering, right, is actually a result of lack of knowledge or lack of wisdom, and primarily because of misunderstanding or not knowing the laws of nature and the times. It literally says about times. Now, these times, my friends, is so important because it's God's wisdom and order in creation at work. What we're talking about here is that there is a thing called the hakafot ha-chaim, or the cycles of life. Now, these cycles of life, they're like the four seasons. They're like the movements of the heavenly bodies that make the high tides and the low tides. And it's all referenced in a book in the Holy Torah, in the Proverbs of Solomon, double honors, or in a similar area where, if I recall properly, King Solomon talks about when he was young, he sought wisdom and God gave it to him, and it included the knowledge of times and cycles. Now, the ultimate tikkun olam, repairing the world and also bringing in the world to come, right? Eternal paradise, the Garden of Eden, something like heaven on earth, and justice and peace and a safe existence for all human beings and all of Israel too, right? It's all based on having wisdom and fear of God. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom is a fear of God. Good understanding to all you practitioners. Listen, the hokmah about the hakafot, or the cycles of life, is so important. This is referenced in the Holy Torah, and it's also been published, and I've analyzed this document. It's in a book called Self-Mastery and Fate with the Cycles of Life by H. Spencer Lewis. So Self-Mastery and Fate with the Cycles of Life. Now, the key is that the laws of nature and the way that nature systematically operates, it has to be learned, understood, and cooperated with, because you're actually looking at how God's creation works, and so you can cooperate with Him to make it work very good and to also rest very good. And included in that is the ability to repair the world, to actually make God's will manifest, okay? Now, hokmah, wisdom, right? And also da'at, knowledge, but actually hokmah is the greatest and the most valuable thing, probably next to the fear of God, because with it you can manage everything of the world. And the highest level of charity, invisibly, right, protecting the reputation of the recipients. At this point, though, the recipients is basically all humans, and this is okay because this is a good thing. Is that wisdom, to actually provide and share wisdom in Israel, and also all nations, everybody, get wisdom. Wisdom is a principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all that getting, get understanding, right? And so get educated on the laws of nature, the cycles of life. It is the key. It's like the life of a human can be compared to somebody who's a farmer, who has planted their crop at the right time, taken care of it the right way, and reaps a massive and a beautiful, healthy, good harvest, because of knowing the laws of nature that are from God's wisdom, having God's wisdom, right, in due measure, and working with it, and winning and gaining and having a good life. And it's that simple. Hokmah and wisdom is the most important thing to have next to the fear of God, because by it and with it you can accomplish all of the legitimate goals that the Creator has, and even access and attain and multiply the good things that He has in store from His chambers of mercy, right, His loving kindness for creation and for all of creation. This is a serious thing. This is what has to be done, okay? This is something that has to happen in our lifetime, okay? You're looking at something called the tikkun olam, repairing the world. This is possible with God's wisdom. Maimonides has some very, very intelligent and good things to say about this. And I'm actually just referring to something that I'm listening to in Google Gemini as I walk here that's from Maimonides about Tikkun Olam, and basically wisdom. So the fear of God and like respecting the Creator and his way and living that way with Him as much as possible. God will help, right? Like God helps you, right? He will. And having wisdom, it's like the most important thing, because by wisdom, you know, God made the heavens and the earth and everything. So get wisdom, you're getting it. Check the books that I recommended and read them. Because if you start to practice that, you're like a wise man of God, and you will be prosperous wherever you go, and you will be prosperous in accomplishing your divinely ordained objectives